Monday 13th of July 2015. Paper highlights. First, let's look at the paper highlights from Daily Mirror. Today's political analysis. UPFA sees otherwise. Only the MPs who defected from the UPFA prior to the January 8th election. Basil not in the fray. The UPFA nominations list barring Colombo and Gampaha have been finalized. Sudarshini opposes the 3 UPFA allies. In Gampaha, former MP Sudarshini Fernando Pulle has opposed nomination to 3 members of 3 UPFA allies. Former Navy Commander Tissa Athanayaka, GL, Dayan in UPFA national list. Former Navy Commander Wasantha Karannagoda, Dr. Dayan Jayatilaka, Tissa Athanayaka and GL Piris are among those being accommodated in the UPFA national list. Duminda Silva contemplates independent list. Former UPFA MP Duminda Silva, who is unlikely to get nomination, is contemplating the possibility of fielding an independent list. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. UNP buoyed by new political front. The UNP, known to have been somewhat downhearted at the turn of events leading to former President Mahinda Rajapaksa being nominated by the UPFA to contest the general election, was yesterday elated that after the JHU, a section of the SLFP MPs loyal to President Maithripala Sirisena, the SLMC and the PTF joined it to form a common political front against the UPFA. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. Good governance MOU signed. The United National Party, the Jathika Hela Urumaya, a section of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, the Sri Lanka Muslim Congress and the Tamil Progressive Alliance yesterday sealed an agreement to contest the general election under the elephant symbol and to form the United National Front for Good Governance. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. UPFA Premlal J on remand, signs nomination. Former Deputy Minister Premlal Jayasekara, who was remanded on charges of killing a UNP supporter last Thursday, signed his nomination papers at the Velikada prisons to contest the general election on the UPFA ticket. Another highlight from Daily Mirror. Nirmala Kothalawala out of politics. Former SLFP Deputy Minister Nirmala Kothalawala said he would not contest the general election because he was disappointed with the political situation in the country, but would engage in politics on an academic level. Now let's move to the paper highlights from Ceylon today. Rajitha, Champika, Rauf, Mano, Arjuna board the elephant. Another highlight from Ceylon today. MR security inadequate. Valivita. Security provided for the former President Mahinda Rajapaksa is inadequate and he must be given more ground security. Coordinating Secretary to the former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, Rohan Velivita told Ceylon today. Another highlight from Ceylon today. Government abusing state power. Polls monitors. The abuse of state power for election campaigning activities attempting to buy votes through the distribution of goods and appointments and transfers have been started by this government, albeit to a lesser degree than the former regime, polls monitors outlined. More highlights from Ceylon today. President betrayed 6.2 million people. Colombo district electoral candidate and leader of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, Anura Kumara Dissanayake, probed and questioned the former President Mahinda Rajapaksa's return to politics. Another highlight from Ceylon today. Nominations end today. Restricted vehicle movement. Vehicle movement will be restricted today in several areas of Narayanpeta and Elvitigala as handing over the nominations is expected to take place at the District Secretariat Office in Colombo, Police Media Unit said. Now let's move to the paper highlights from Daily News. MOU for Broad Alliance to contest under elephant symbol. A unification of the same forces that supported the January 8th revolution, a leadership council to run the party. The memorandum of understanding for the formation of a broad political alliance under the name United National Front for Good Governance, which is to contest the upcoming general election under the UNP's elephant symbol, was signed at Temple Trees yesterday. The MOU was signed between the UNP and the recently established United Good Governance National Front, which includes the JHU, some members of the SLFP and left-leaning parties. The UNFGG includes the UNP, Jathika Hela Urumaya, a section of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and several leftist parties. It's also supported by the Sri Lanka Muslim Congress, the Tamil Progressive Alliance and a majority of political parties and civil society organizations, which came forward to support President Maithripala Sirisena at the last presidential election. The Prime Minister and leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickremesinghe, speaking at the event, said that the forces which came forward to topple the corrupt Rajapaksa regime had once again united to protect the January 8th revolution. Another highlight from Daily News. Ratana Thera to get national list slot. Leader of the Pivithuru Hatak National Movement, Venerable Athuraliya Ratana Thera, is to get a national list slot from the UNP-led alliance, political sources said. Meanwhile, JHU General Secretary Pathali Champika Ranawaka is to contest the polls from Colombo district under the elephant symbol, and Rajitha Senaratne will contest from Kalutara. Another highlight from Daily News. Special traffic plan for nomination. A special traffic plan will be in operation around the Colombo District Secretariat today for handing over nominations to contest the upcoming general election. Vehicle movement from Baseline Road, Havelock Road, Traffic Light Junction to Narahenpita Junction, Park Road to Elvitigala Road, Traffic Lights Junction, and Navala Junction to Baseline Road, Narahenpita Junction will be restricted from 7 am to 3 pm. Only residents, patients, officers, and school children will be able to use these roads, police said. Another highlight from Daily News. Reginald Nirmala likely to stay out of Paul's race. Former ministers Reginald Kure and Nirmala Kotalawala are likely to stay away from the electoral race this time, UPFA sources said. Both of them represent the Kaltura district. UPFA sources said they would not contest under the party ticket at the forthcoming parliamentary elections. However, there was speculation on Friday that Kure might join the United National Front for Good Governance, but he was not among the MPs who took part in the signing of the MOU yesterday. Another highlight from Daily News. President may stay neutral. President Maithripala Sirisena may opt to stay neutral at the parliamentary election without overtly supporting any political front, political sources told the Daily News. He is scheduled to make a special statement today explaining his position on the election. However, almost all close associates of President Sirisena in the UPFA have now aligned themselves with the UNP-led alliance. There was strong speculation yesterday that President Sirisena might even step down from the top post of the United People's Freedom Alliance, under which former President Mahinda Rajapaksa would contest the election. When a group of civil society members asked President Sirisena whether he would stand alongside former President Rajapaksa during the election campaign of the UPFA, President Sirisena said he didn't wish to do so. Another highlight from Daily News. Probe on corrupt will continue under new UNP government. The ongoing investigations on wrongdoings committed by politicians and officials over the past years would be continued uninterruptedly under a new UNP government led by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, Public Order and Christian Religious Affairs Minister John Amarathunga said. Another highlight from Daily News. Estate workers strike continues. The trade union action by estate workers demanding a wage hike is continuing as discussions between the Commissioner General of Labour, trade union leaders and estate employees union to resolve the issue have been unsuccessful. Estate workers commenced the trade union action demanding to increase their daily wage to ₹1,000. More highlights from Daily News. UNP will be taught a bitter lesson. Nimal. The United National Party, which came to power to usher in good governance, will learn a bitter lesson at the upcoming general election, said opposition leader Nimal Siripal de Silva. Addressing the media after submitting UPFA nominations for the Badulla district, the opposition leader said the people will send the corrupt UNP government home on August 17 after teaching it a good lesson. He said the nominations list of the UPFA for the Badulla district is a powerful one that represents different communities living in district. The UNP's dream of a divided SLFP has now faded away. We now have two powerful leaders and we are not afraid to face any election. There is no political party in Sri Lanka to face the twin forces of Maitri and Mahinda, De Silva said. He said Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe had claimed that he will use US techniques for his party's election campaign. Another highlight from Daily News. More SLFPers will join Good Governance Front. Pathali. Minister Pathali Champika Ranawaka yesterday said that he believed more politicians from the Sri Lanka Freedom Party will join the new United National Front for Good Governance even after the election. Addressing the gathering at the ceremony where an MOU was inked to form the UNFGG at Temple Trees, Ranawaka said, I hope more SLFP members will change their stance and attitudes and join this broad coalition. Another highlight from Daily News. Duminda Silva supporters protest demanding nomination. Protests took place in Colombo yesterday demanding that former UPFA parliamentarian Duminda Silva be given nomination to contest the forthcoming parliamentary election. The demonstrations were conducted by supporters of the former parliamentarian who represented the Colombo district. They protested opposite the opposition leader's office and the Mahaveli Centre where UPFA candidates signed nomination papers. We brought you the paper highlights from today's newspapers and we will bring you more tomorrow.